So here we are sitting inside a 2015 Chevrolet GMC, I guess it is, Yukon. Customer complaint of a stiff brake pedal, and she's ran into 4 or 5 different people now at the grocery store and at stop signs, and at this point wants it looked at. Now this thing has, I don't know how many miles on it, 67,800 and some change. Took the vehicle for a drive. Verified customer complaint. Now the brakes worked good when it was cold. It had good vacuum assist. This does have a regular vacuum booster on it. However, it does not use manifold vacuum. It has a vacuum pump because for whatever reason GM had to reinvent the wheel. I assume it's probably because it has active fuel management or some silly thing, so they don't use manifold pressure. We're going to look at this. Now they also have a service bulletin on this. I think that came out last year. Brake sensor, there we go. I'll show you what this does here. Let's get this up on the bigger screen. Alright, so here we are, atmospheric pressure, thereabouts. That's just pumping the brake pedal. Get her down to, so minus 0.2 must be 0 psi, so we're going to fire this baby up. Now we should build around, 22 to 24 inches of vacuum. And my foot's not on the brake right now. Perhaps I can add that. Is there a brake pressure sensor there? See if I can just bring that up so we can all see it. Okay, there we go. That'll show my foot on the brake. There we go. Actually, we're going to switch that back to digital. So you can see sitting here just idling, foot not on the brake. We're only at about roughly 10 inches of vacuum. Now I've already driven the vehicle and it's warmed up, and that's just, right at this point it's broke. That's way too low. I'll give her some throttle here. Spin that little vacuum pump a little bit more, and you can see we can build about 22-ish, 22, 23 inches of vacuum, or about negative 11 psi. Now the customer complaint was if she sits at a stop sign, foot on the brake, creeps ahead a little bit, steps on the brake again, creeps ahead, steps on the brake again, about the 3rd or 4th time she wails into the person in front of her because the brake pedal's rock hard. And right now my foot's on the brake pedal's pretty stiff until we hit about 10 inches of vacuum. Now I'm starting to feel the pedal sink down, but you can see I'll just hold my foot on the brake here. It's a really slow buildup. So let your foot off it, pump it just a couple times, and it takes a long time for that thing to recover. Now if I hold my foot on the brake pedal's rock hard right now, give her some throttle, and the brake pedal drops right down. Let me go out and show you the system under the hood. There's a flashlight here. So there is our brake booster. Now oddly enough, no codes, no low vacuum codes, no anything to key off that there might be a system other than the fact you're bumping off the guy in front of you. Here is the brake pressure sensor that we're reading, or the vacuum sensor that we're reading. This goes directly into the brake booster, and then you follow this hose. Let's get my light here. You follow this hose down. Get this where we can all see, hopefully. You follow that hose down where she goes around town. Can't find it through my viewfinder. Well, we can see this pulley right here. That is the pulley for the vacuum pump. They use an actual mechanical pump that bolts to the side of the block and is oil pressure fed. All right, and then this is where their bulletin comes in. Evidently those pumps can fill up full of oil. It'll send oil up through the tube. It'll fill the brake booster full of oil and then destroy everything. No joke, that's their bulletin. They want you to replace the vacuum pump, the hose, the sensor, the master cylinder, and the booster on your dime. GM will not cover this. I mean, I'm sure they would if it was under factory warranty. So we're going to try to pull this out without breaking it. There we go. And usually what I do is I just look in them, see if they have any oil in them, where this one's dry, but I've taken some of these off before, and they're literally full of oil. Usually the vacuum pump will start making like a knocking noise long before that happens, but in this case here, There's no oil in there. We can take a zip tie and stick it down in the booster. I doubt there's any oil in there because there's none in the line. And usually you'll see it, it'll be all wet around here. So in this case, it just needs a vacuum pump. I'm not gonna make a customer buy, you know, all this stuff. I don't know why GM doesn't recall these because it is actually dangerous, you know, when brakes become an option. The sucky part is it uses a stretch fit belt, which isn't a big deal because you're gonna put a new belt on the pump anyways. However, the AC compressor also uses a stretch fit belt. So now you have to buy 2 stretch fit belts because you gotta cut them to take them off just to change the vacuum pump. Kind of ridiculous, but is what it is. I didn't build it, I didn't buy it, I didn't break it.